No? Hi everyone, it's Martha Stewart, and this is Facebook Live. And what I'm talking about today with my dear friend and colleague, Thomas Joseph. Come here, Thomas. Say hi.
Hi, everybody.
Say hi to everybody. And all of you better watch, because this is very exciting little Facebook Live that we have for you. It's really to tell you all about the 10th season of Martha Bakes, the award-winning and very popular show on PBS. We are so excited about the 10th season, and what I tried to do with Thomas and the rest of us who worked on the show is to show you techniques and recipes and decorative ideas for baked goods that will wow you and your friends and your family. Your kids are going to all want the ombre strawberry
Oh my gosh.
birthday cake. Can you imagine if you made that at home looking like this? This is what it looks like when you cut into it. It is so gorgeous. And if it were really difficult, I'd never put it on my show. But this is not so difficult. Even this crazy, beautiful decoration of buttercream piped with a simple leaf tip around and around and around. All you have to have is a turntable, and you can do this cake with no difficulty. And I always say, if I can do it, you can do it. But that's a little different now, because I've been making these cakes for
A long time.
Yeah, since 1980 something. But it's so beautiful, isn't it? It's the greatest. So that's what we're doing on this show. We're doing all kinds of unusual things, like how could you possibly not want to make the Woodland faux bois cookie, iced beautifully with green pistachios on the edge, or just plain like that, really pretty too. And those are an amazing cookie. They're vanilla and chocolate shortbread swirls, and they look really hard. They look like impossible to make. They're not so impossible. We're demystifying a lot of techniques that you haven't seen before, or you've seen in magazines or on TV and have no idea how to make them. And we've really done a great job, I think, don't you?
I do, yeah.
And artisanal breads. Everybody's making their own breads now. This looks like it came straight from Paris, but it came right out of our oven, right here in New York City. And this is an artisanal boule, and it is just beautiful. It's a few little slashes with a sharp razor, or this little, see, there's the sharp razor. Just slice into the risen dough. This makes the most beautiful, beautiful, professional-looking cuts on top of a loaf of bread. And the show, by the way, is sponsored by our dear friends, and has been for quite a long time, by Domino Sugar. And we love Domino Sugar. It's the only sugar I've ever bought. It's been around for many, many years. And dark brown sugar, light brown sugar, confectioner's sugar, which my mom always called 10X sugar. Do you still call it 10X sugar ever?
We always call it 10X.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay. 10X, because it's so fine and fluffy. And Domino granulated sugar. It's another sugar that, this is the basic sugar. And then the dark brown sugar and the light brown sugar are refined sugars also, but darkened by the addition of molasses. And how much molasses determines how dark or light the sugar is. And remember, when you're using that, I just want to remind you, always keep it in an airtight container, because both dark brown and light brown dry out really fast and turn into hard rocks. You can reconstitute, but it's better to keep them in an airtight container. So first off, we want to make one thing, just to show you start to finish how easy. And this is just done in a bowl. It's a bowl mix, and this is a beautiful cupcake. Look at this cupcake. Isn't that the most charming cupcake you ever saw? It is a really, really dark brownie cupcake with a sugared pansy on top and a lavender glaze. And it's not lavender flavor, but it's lavender glaze, just because it's pretty. Mm-hmm. But we even sugared our own pansies. But isn't that pretty? Want to see how to do it? Okay, so we should start. You've melted the chocolate already.
Yep, so this is 6 ounces of bittersweet chocolate and 1 stick of unsalted butter.
Okay, and to that,
melted.
Should we add the sugar?
Yep, so add the sugar so that it melts into the chocolate, so it's still a little bit warm.
So you do the stirring, I'll do the pouring.
And, Martha was talking about how the recipes we've developed are actually fairly simple to make, and this is a good example of a recipe that's beautiful in the end, but is actually made in one bowl. You don't need a KitchenAid mixer or anything like that. You just need a bowl and a few hand
And a
tools.
pot with a little bit of water in it.
Yep.
We've created our own bain-marie. So that's a simmering water underneath a heat-proof bowl where the chocolate can melt, the sugar can soften. And what about the cocoa? You want to add the cocoa now?
Well, we can sift together the
Okay.
all-purpose flour and the cocoa.
So 2/3 of a cup of all-purpose flour. And we show how to measure flour. So that's 1/3 and 2/3. And sift that with half a teaspoon of salt. And I always use kosher salt. I just like the texture and I love the taste. And 1/4 of a cup of cocoa powder. Now this is interesting. This is the cocoa powder that you buy in the grocery store. Dutch process. Look at the difference in color. Now there's a very big difference in taste and color. If you want that really dark devil's food cake or the dark brownie, use Dutch process cocoa. And we're using that, 1/4 of a cup. And this you can buy also in the grocery store, but you can also buy it at cake decorating stores or fancy food shops.
Or even online.
Yeah.
A lot of specialty ingredients are
I was
available
supposed
online.
to sift that with the flour.
That's okay. It'll dissolve nicely into the chocolate here. But then I think we want to add our eggs in.
Yes. So 3 large eggs. Want to use a whisk or something?
I think a spatula
Yeah.
is fine. It kind of
It's
mixes
floppy,
in
yeah.
nicely.
Yeah.
And Martha, one of the things that we didn't mention, since this is the 10th season of Martha Bakes, in the 10 seasons, we've had over 500, I think it's almost 600 recipes that we've
I know.
made together.
We have a book coming one of these days. We're going to have a book.
That's a lot of
Because
baking.
it really is fantastic. It's an amazing show with amazing cooperation from PBS and from our sponsors, and it is on public television. We have a very devoted audience. Thank you very much. An audience that really wants to learn, and that's what I like to do. I like to teach, as do the other people here at Martha Stewart Living. We want to teach. We want to teach you the best recipes, the best techniques. We bring in experts who also are fantastic teachers. And this show, in each show, we have an expert come to the show to talk or do about something that they do that is especially fantastic. We have Loco Kitchen come in to do a
Beautiful pies,
pie.
right?
I did a mosaic pie topping with fruit with our dear Loco Kitchen. That's an Instagram handle. And I have a whole list. You're adding the vanilla. Add the vanilla.
1 teaspoon of vanilla
And then you
extract.
can add the flour. I'll do it for you. I tell you, we have adorned cakes. Starts on July 7th. We have the perfect potashu. And Ron Ben Israel, the master wedding cake man. Ron Ben Israel is on our show on Adorned Cakes, and he shows how to make sugar paste peonies.
They're so beautiful.
Yeah, and he shows you how to do them, and you can really do them at home. So you can start to master some of the techniques that you've been dying to try, and they're not so hard. This is all about mastering and demystification. We have the Perfect Potashu show on July 14th. And Danielle Alvarez comes on to do his delicious breakfast gougere, which are breakfast puffs. And we do potashu swans. You've always wanted to make those, haven't you? And then we have decorative breads. And Aaron Sloniker comes and he shows us how to score the bread with the French scoring tool. Here's some more. And then we have elegant cookies. And my friend Robert Hardzik, who I just saw for dinner, he was making the birthday cake for my friend Bootsy Moffat's 90th birthday.
Oh, wow.
I'll show you the picture. It's so beautiful. He decorated this gorgeous giant chocolate cake with his own homemade macaron in yellow and orange.
So pretty.
And beautiful yellow and orange flowers on it. It was a very charming cake. And then we have, and he does brush embroidery techniques
So beautiful.
and henna techniques on cookies. Then we have magnificent meringues. And And we show you how to make almond dacquoise, balm, and meringue wreath. We have breakfast pastries, and you're going to all want this. It's August 11th. Oh, August 4th. The Magnificent Meringues is after my birthday, which is August 3rd. Oh, dear. But you're going to make me that cake.
Yes.
Yes. We're going to do breakfast pastries, brown butter swirled, jam-filled croissants, and I made peach jam. I made the same jam you made last week from those fabulous Frog Hollow peaches.
Oh my gosh.
So good. And I served the kids it without their mother knowing it. I served the grandchildren.
Now she
Don't
knows.
tell my daughter. I served them yogurt with that for breakfast, and
so
they
delicious.
loved it. And I said there was no Domino sugar in the jam, but that wasn't true. And then the fanciful tarts, red fruit tart, pink apple tart, and lemon custard tarts. And we have Judy Kim, who was on the show, and she's our local kitchen lady, all the way from Seattle. Impressive Chocolate Desserts is another show. And we have Jacques Torres, none other than the great chocolatier Jacques Torres. And he comes on and shows us melting chocolate desserts. It's so much fun, using a balloon and hot, what was it, a ganache?
Similar,
a hot
a type
ganache
of
to
ganache.
melt everything. And then we do decorated cupcakes, and this is one of our cupcakes. So there it is, all done.
Yep,
But show the
easy.
technique of filling those beautiful. Now, if you're going to make brownie cupcakes, find the brown papers, because they look even more beautiful in the brown paper instead of those white papers. So, and a 2-ounce, is that a 2-ounce scoop?
Yes, it's a 2-ounce scoop, and we like to use the ice cream scoops because it evenly portions out the
Yeah, and
batter.
all the cupcakes will be the same size. We also use ice cream scoops for measuring out cookies, so that when you make a cookie, it's all the same. Oh, excuse me, Loco Kitchen is not the fanciful tart. Judy Kim, she did an applied tart. Which one was hers? Why am I not remembering?
I think it had little cutouts of flowers and a
Oh,
braided top.
that's different. Okay. Then we had the Loco Kitchen is Lauren Coe. Forgive me. And then we have decorated cupcakes. Then Emily Archer, who used to work at
Yes.
Martha Stewart Living, and has moved on to. I think she moved away.
She lives in Philadelphia now.
Philadelphia. Yeah, she did beautiful watercolor cupcake toppers. A little bit time-consuming to make, but so beautiful. You're going to want to try those too. And we then have a whole show devoted to the perfect puff pastry. And we do a saucisson en croûte, a savory. We do an apple tart, and we have Dominique Ancel doing his galette de roi. I love that.
That was
Yes.
beautiful.
The king's cake.
People are very interested in what the recipe is for making.
Oh,
what
this
size
is-
scoop you're using for
Okay,
that.
2-ounce ice cream scoop to fill the typical cupcake paper, and this is our brownie cupcake with sugared pansies as decoration on the top. And this should make exactly 12, right?
Yep. 12 standard standard cups.
Depending on the weather. It is so hot and humid in New York City. If any of you are watching from a distance, I hope you're cooler. It's 100 degrees outside, so muggy, so hideous. And I just hope all the animals are being taken care of. You know, you think about the cows and the horses, and my horses have to stay inside on a day like today. It's way too hot for them. And the peacocks are all sort of lying in the shade wherever they can find it. But they're used to India.
They're
they're used
heat.
to India, so they're used to it. But the big horses and stuff are not so used to this heat. Then we have embellished pies, and that's Lauren Coe. Okay, that's the difference. I forgot. And frosted cakes, including this fantastic strawberry ombre cake. And we then have patterned. This whole show is just about patterns. Cheesecake tart, a marbleized roulade. Wait till you see the marbleized roulade. It is so pretty. And the brown butter honey cookies, also
Those are really
extremely beautiful
beautiful.
and delicious. And so that's the whole show. 13 episodes starting on July 7th. So any other questions from our dear friends out there?
Yes, they want to know what temperature your oven is for this recipe.
Okay, it's 350
Yep.
degrees.
And these take about 22 to 24 minutes to bake until a toothpick comes out. You can have a few crumbs on it because you do want these to be nice and fudgy and moist.
Oh, yeah.
So don't worry if there are a few crumbs.
Yeah, you want it moist on the center. Mm-hmm. Okay, here, then. I think that's the last cupcake in
I
there.
think it's almost perfect, the
Yeah.
portioning. That's why, you know,
Boy.
when we develop recipes, we really try to give all of the, you know, the tools that go along with it so that you end up with
Exactly
perfect
perfect.
cupcakes each and every time.
Want the last little bit?
Yes, I think I can go in here.
And Thomas, people are asking, how did you get connected with Martha?
Oh my gosh. I started off as an intern here about 11 years
I
ago.
remember clearly the
Yes.
day you came.
For television.
Telling me about pho.
Yes,
Pho.
yes. I was doing my internship as I was in school at NYU for food studies. So, and then I found Martha.
And you've only made pho once.
No, I've made it many more times.
Not for me. And I'm still craving it.
Well, maybe not in this
Oh,
weather,
God,
but
I'm
definitely
making a mess now, see, but.
when it gets
Sorry.
cooler out, I'll make it for everybody.
And this is the one batter that you really love. Okay, you want them very clean, the papers.
Yes.
So this goes right into the oven for 20 minutes about?
Yeah, 22 to 24.
Okay, 22 to 24 minutes.
Martha, do you have any suggestions on where you would get the brown cupcake paper?
Oh, New York Cake and Bake. That has, you can just, and they have an online presence, so you can go to New York Cake and Bake. And sometimes you can find them in other, shops that sell baking equipment. So here's the white chocolate glaze. Oh, I love this white chocolate glaze.
And then Kat wants to know, does humidity affect baking, and how do you alter your plans to?
No, don't try to alter your. It's humidity is a weird thing, and it depends on where you are. It depends. Baking is affected by altitude, by heat, moisture, humidity, cold. Baking is an exact science, and it's best done in a temperate zone.
Yeah. Today would have been a bad day for meringues, I would say.
Yeah.
So
You don't
that's
want
why
to
we
make
didn't-
meringue unless you're in an air-conditioned kitchen. You do not want to make meringue on a hot, humid day. Just don't want to make it. I went to a lunch the other day, and the meringue was really soft and kind of nondescript because it was too humid. It was too hot for the meringue. So this is a perfect cupcake for a hot, humid day.
For today, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And because it's a solid cake and the white chocolate ganache on top, which won't melt very quickly.
No.
Okay, so we're making the white chocolate.
Yes, so
So
8 ounces of white chocolate, really finely chopped so it melts nice and evenly, and then an equal portion of cream. So this is a half a cup.
Okay. Of hot cream, heavy cream. And just stir that until all the chocolate is melted.
And then this is something that we don't really see that much, Martha, in a lot of recipes, but coloring the ganache to make a beautiful color. You know, most people use a confectioner sugar glaze or some other type of glaze that they
Yeah,
color.
but if you use white chocolate, I remember one year I made all white chocolate rabbits, remember? And I colored them with all colors of pastel. And they were so cute. And I made them in the old-fashioned chocolate molds. I had purple rabbits and pink rabbits, and they were delicious. And so now let's color it. So we're using a gel food coloring.
Yep, so we have violet and purple. So we're going to add 2 drops of the violet.
And I find this the most difficult dispenser on
Nope.
earth.
Well.
Okay, see? Yeah, see?
We'll start
it comes
with that.
out faster than you think. So that's the lavender, right?
That was the violet,
Oh,
yep.
violet, yeah, violet.
And then this is the purple.
Yeah. So to make it. Okay, that's fine.
And you can adjust the colors to your taste. And of course, the flowers that you have are able to find. We're using pansies today that we found at the farmer's market.
And it
but-
dries a little lighter than the actual. But don't stir it too much. Don't whisk it because you don't want bubbles in it. We want a nice, thin and glaze that is not bubbly. Okay, that looks good. And so then we pour that on top. Here, show the brown cupcakes.
So here are the cupcakes. They have a nice crackly top to them.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want your brownies to look like.
And then Martha is pouring our ganache into a measuring cup because it's easier to pour and portion out over the top of the brownies.
Martha, Mary's asking, is that paste or oil-based color?
It's a water base, really, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's no oil. So see, when you have it in something like this, then you can very carefully pour. It fills all the nooks and crannies. You want it to ultimately be very flat without dripping over the, is that one doing okay?
Yep. And you can gently kind of coax the ganache over to the other side.
You can do that.
Yeah.
We're getting a bunch of questions about the flowers. Are there any flowers that aren't safe to decorate food with?
Oh yeah, like oleander flowers, my favorite poisonous flower. Do not serve your family oleander anything. And they're like the national flower of Hawaii. You know, they're just everywhere in Hawaii. And you do not want to get in trouble with oleander. And don't plant, oh yeah, you're going to coax it with the
Toothpick, and if there are any air bubbles, as Martha had mentioned, you can kind of, pop them with the toothpick.
I like it to fill the paper completely. Mm-hmm. And these will really get more rigid.
Yep. As they cooled, it will the ganache will set up really nicely.
All the way into the points of that chocolate, the little chocolate colored paper.
And this is a fun project to do with kids too, because it's almost like crafting with food, isn't
This
it?
is totally crafting. Yeah.
And these would be amazing too for a special
Just
occasion,
needs a tiny bit more.
for a baby shower or even a bridal shower. This would be really nice.
Oh, we made something like this for Hannah's shower. Remember Hannah Millman?
You had a whole purple theme.
Oh, we had everything was lavender because that's her favorite color, and then she never got married. That was like 10 years ago. And she still hasn't gotten married. Here, we're going to fix those up when I'll just keep filling.
All right.
Yeah, Hannah, when are you going to get married? She's still with the same guy, thank goodness. It's in my book. Oh God, it's an entertaining too.
Brett is asking, I love your top, where did you get it?
Oh, really? Is that a unpaid advertisement, Brett? This is the Martha top. And you can get this on QVC with this zipper right here, this beautiful gold zipper, and all this beautiful hand stitching along here and along the hem. And this is so cool. It's perfect for a horrible day like this. This is so perfect. I had to be on the Today Show this morning.
Were you outside or inside?
Outside.
Oh gosh.
For some reason, they had everybody outside, and Carson Daly was there in a black suit.
Oh my gosh, he was probably
Black
sweating.
suit. Am I making a mess?
No. And you might have to add a little bit more as you go, because it will
It's harder today than the last time I made these.
it will seep into
The nooks.
into the nooks and crannies. So you might have to add a little bit more to get it, nice and filled and up to the top.
So Thomas, we have an embarrassing question that's been asked about 4 times already. Are you married?
I'm not married. No.
God. They're flirting with you again, Thomas.
Not yet.
We're trying to get him married. We want him to settle down and get a dog.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
Well, baby steps. Baby steps.
Regina wants to know, do these need to be served at room temperature because of the ganache?
I think they're best at room temperature, but
Yeah.
you can keep them in the fridge if it is hot outside, to store for the next day if you wanted to serve them the next day.
Now, I hope you noticed that there was no leavening in these cupcakes. Don't put any in, right?
Right. Just the eggs
Just the
act
eggs,
as
yes.
as the leavening agent, but that's because these are really fudgy, dense brownies, which makes them really, really delicious. And this is actually a really great recipe to make in advance
See,
because
this needs more filling.
because it has a good amount of sugar in it. It will last a while.
So good.
Kat
Yes.
says she's going to try to make them in red, white, and blue.
But that's a good idea
How?
to do the top in
the
a
top would be
nice
cute.
red.
On chocolate?
Yeah, with the white chocolate.
Yeah, you could do that.
I would probably use a different liner maybe on the bottom.
Yeah, use a nice foil, red, white, and blue foil.
Yeah, those are pretty.
Yeah, they have swirly ones. That'd be cute.
Or how about
I
we-
have to make something for tomorrow. What
about sugared currants would be
these home.
pretty, wouldn't it?
Oh, I have a lot of red currants.
Right? On top
Yeah.
of that for the 4th of July, I think
Yeah.
that would be really pretty. And
Oh, I think I'll do that. And I was thinking I have to make a flag cake. Don't I have to make a flag cake?
Yes.
I have red
berries?
raspberries. I don't have blueberries yet, but the raspberries, I have black raspberries and yellow raspberries and red raspberries. They're so delicious right now. And today I brought in to the kitchen, because nobody in my family will eat them, I brought in these radishes. They're dark, dark red radishes that
have
are,
one.
aren't they spicy?
They are extremely spicy.
No, are these going to get nice and beautiful like those other ones? Or did you make the purple too dark?
I think I might have added a little too much purple. Sorry.
They're looking a little dark.
Yes.
They will get flat and they will get beautiful just like those, I promise you. So, how to sugar how to sugar flowers, I should say. So, we have taken the petals off the pansy. Look at that beautiful pansy. Make sure the flowers, I didn't finish telling you which flowers you should use. You must use flowers that have not been sprayed with any pesticides or herbicides, fungicides. You don't want any of that. I don't spray anything in my garden, so I feel free to go out and pick flowers that are edible. Herb flowers are edible, but they might be too strong for a dessert. So get sweet flowers like nasturtiums, pansies, roses. Those are all very nice to sugar. And if you want, take the pansy like this, and then this is egg white beaten with a little bit of water, and just gently paint with a soft brush the petal. And we're using another fabulous Domino product, which is superfine sugar. And you have to get yourself superfine sugar for this, because they're so delicate, these petals, that you want to use a very lightweight sugar. And that is superfine. And you have to do this with your fingers. Just a little bit. And you let this dry. And you can see right away if you've missed a spot.
Martha, Bridget is asking if you can't use fresh flowers, any other garnishes you'd recommend?
Oh, there's many. Well, as we just said, berries are very beautiful.
And you could, with like currants,
Yeah.
you could do the same,
Same
process.
thing, yeah. Just you can dip a little raceme of currants, a little cluster of currants, right into the egg white, and then dip them in sugar or sprinkle them with sugar. Now, the reason I'm not dunking this whole flour in here is if you do that, it gets real gloppy, gets too heavy. See how delicate these are, and they've dried nicely.
Jen wants to know how far in advance can you make these before serving?
Oh, like yesterday, it's just fine. But don't put the candied petals, sugared petals, into the refrigerator. The humidity, even of a refrigerator, will make them a little bit soggy. So just keep them in a dark, cool place, away from the little hands of you-know-who, the children, if you make them yesterday. So pretty. Yeah, so these will dry beautifully and look like whole pansies. Here's a whole little pansy. Oh, we don't have any empty ones. These have to.
They have to set up a
Yeah,
little
set
bit,
up.
yes. But then you just garnish the top of them.
And these will dry much more opaque than they look right now. So since we have a camera, don't show them. They don't look perfect yet.
Marta wants to know, can you use rose petals?
Oh, I just said roses are very nice, yeah. Pale pink roses would be so great on these cupcakes. So here's another idea for iced tea or hot tea. Taking your light brown sugar, and it must be the moist right out of the bag, and press into a little sugar or candy mold like this. These little acrylic molds are so nice, and you really have to press the sugar in there, and they dry, and you can pop them right out and make little flowers, make little domes, make little squares, whatever your mold shape is, will make perfect sugar cubes. And sugar cubes are very expensive, so to make your own out of this dark brown sugar is nice. And I make these in because I give them to my horses. They love sugar cubes. And in the morning, I take out one for each. They come running over. Did you know that?
That you make them?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I know they love sugar cubes, but
Oh, yeah, but the store-bought sugar cubes are very expensive.
they are, and you can't. I mean, unless you go to a really expensive specialty store, you cannot find the figural shaped
No.
sugar cubes.
So
which
make
is
your
really,
own.
Really fun.
And these two you get at New York Cake and Bake, these little molds. And then I can pop these right out, I think.
They have to, yeah, of course.
Yeah, but
will dry out.
I should
yes.
have popped those other ones out. These are ready to come out, but I should have popped them out before I poke these other ones in. But this is what they look like when they come out of the mold. It's a little diamond shaped. It's a emerald cut diamond. And you can just plunk them right into your lovely mint tea.
Martha, what are you doing for 4th of July? A lot of people are asking.
Oh, I'm staying home because I had to work today and I have to work on Thursday. So I'm staying home at the farm and I'm going to visit with all my animals, go swimming, have a barbecue, and then at night, oh, I'm so looking forward to tomorrow night. You know what it is?
No.
We're going to Caramore.
Oh.
Which is the big music festival right across the street from my house. And at Caramore, they're playing John Philip Sousa's very patriotic music with the fireworks.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah, so there's an orchestra and it's so much fun. We can't wait to see. And there's a very beautiful fireworks. And I have to make sure my dogs are all locked up. Make sure that if you have pets that get scared of fireworks, and the fireworks are so close to my house, you have to be very careful that you don't frighten your animals. Put them in a room with as many doors closed as possible and keep them quiet because and some little kids hate fireworks too. Don't force your kid if he or she hates fireworks to go and sit through all that noise. Their ears are very sensitive and it might be frightening. So just be careful. My grandchildren will not go to the fireworks.
No?
Unless they can watch them from inside.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. Last year they watched the fireworks in Maine with a friend in his house through the windows,
Okay.
and they
Well,
all
it's nice and
and they
cool that
oohed and
way.
awed at all the beautiful fireworks, but they didn't hear them. And I love hearing them. I love the bangs. And what are you doing?
I think I'm going to go watch them on the East
roof
River.
here?
Well, no, I think
they
they're on the
can't be-
East River this year.
They're on the East River
Yeah.
again. Macy's fireworks. Don't forget to watch the Macy's fireworks if you're in New York. So they're on the East River. Where are you going to go? To the Brooklyn Bridge or something?
Probably around there,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's fun.
Since I'm downtown.
And so I think this is it. I hope you all watch the Martha Bakes starting this Sunday, this weekend on
Yes.
this July 7th. And check your local listings, of course, on PBS or public television. And I really want to thank Domino Sugar and Kerrygold Butter for sponsoring our show so generously and so nicely for so long. Thanks a lot.